Our next guest today on Central Kentucky TV, Focus on Washington County, is John Strickland, who was the Chamber of Commerce Entrepreneur Award recipient at the banquet in February or January. So anyway, welcome, John.
Thank you, Lisa.
We've been trying to have you on for a while.
Yeah, schedules and being sick and the snow is really put us way later than we should, I guess.
Yeah.
But glad to be here.
Yeah. Well, and with that, John, I'm going to start out by asking you about your award, and maybe you can tell me how it is that you got that and what that was about.
It was the Entrepreneur of the Year, and I guess it was from entrepreneurship. We do a lot here in town. We have several properties along Main Street. We own the tanning salon here, Endless Summer Tanning Salon. We have a pharmaceutical wholesale distributorship in town. We employ about 12 people there. And we primarily do business all over the United States, hospitals, doctor's office, clinics, and whatnot. We're just wholesale, we're not retail. And then we have several tracts of land around that we're building duplexes on. We've got a little subdivision in town that we did, and we basically sell houses out of it and finance them for people. We believe that bad things happen to good people. And if a good person comes along and's had a bad time in their life, or a rough patch, or a tragedy, or somebody got sick and they got behind on the bills, then we like to come in, build them a house, and put them in a new home.
And help them finance that?
We finance it for them, absolutely. Matter of fact, we just did one. I bought 3 or 4 little small homes on Jimtown Road, and we'll go in and gut it. I'm talking about every light fixture, every wall switch, every plug, socket, some of the drywall, all the cabinets, the flooring, paint, every toilet, plumbing fixture. We'll even cut the tubs out of these houses and make them all brand new inside. Then we'll go to outside, put some landscaping in, concrete if it's busted up. The one we did now, we just painted, added a porch on the front, columns, made it a lot nicer home than it was originally, and turned around and again sold it and financed it for a girl that had some problems in the past that's got her life turned around and doing a good job now. So we kind of pride ourselves in wanting to give back to the community, and Washington County's small and I guess it just gives you a good feeling to be able to do that.
That's true, John, and I appreciate your work here in Springfield and Washington County. And the thing is, you're not even from here.
I'm not. I'm from.
You're an implant.
I'm a reject, I guess. I'm from Savannah, Georgia, and the crime had gotten really, really bad there, and I've been there my whole life, So I guess sometimes you want just to change, and I was a big coon hunter at the time, and I'd been hunting since I was about 12 years old, and hunted 2 or 3 years professionally. And Kentucky's the center. I mean, it's the coon hunting mecca of the world, of the United States anyway. And I'd traveled, and every time I traveled through here, I'm like, man, I really like the rolling hills. I like the bluegrass, and if I ever get a chance, I'm gonna move there. And crime had really continued to rise in Savannah. And I come through one day, and I said, I'd seen a real estate agent. I said, if you see anything for sale around here, give me a call. And about a month later, he called me and said, I've got 1,000 so acres for sale out on Tick Creek Road. It used to be John Michael Montgomery, the country singer's farm, or it was at the time. I looked at it on a Wednesday and closed it on a Friday. And was just going to come up here and build a cabin and be a every now and then deal. And I come up 3 or 4 times, and I guess about the 4th time, I'm like, heck, I'm moving. So I moved to Springfield, Kentucky.
Quite a change from Savannah, I'd say.
It's a big change from Savannah. It's 90% of it to me is a better change. I still have 2 children in Georgia, so we still have a place in Georgia, and we go back and forth and see them. You know, so but I miss the seafood. That's the big. That's the big difference, Lisa. I miss the seafood.
Yeah.
I'm a seafood addict, and it's hard to get seafood here. You know, it's good seafood.
Yeah.
I mean, you guys call frog legs seafood. Come on, that's not seafood. That's pond food.
Well, what are you talking about? You can't beat those
Frog
frog
legs are
Fresh
pond
frog
food.
legs?
That is pond food. That's not seafood. So we make sure every vacation we take seems to be down to Florida, the destination area, because there's seafood down there. And then I still get back a lot. So you
can get some good bluegill here and bass too now.
Yeah, but you can't get a fresh grouper out of the ocean.
No, you can't get a fresh.
So.
Well, but now, are you in the? Didn't John Michaels have a cabin on it already, or not?
John Michael had it was 10 by 12 handy house type building that they built. No electric, no water, I wouldn't spend a night in it. John Michael's like, there's nothing wrong with this thing, and like, dude, there's rats in here. You know, I'm not spending a night in there. So we pushed it over, dug a hole, pushed it in there, burned it, and filled the hole back in. So. I think one of the Philly Etru boys, I think, had the cabinets out of it. They went and saved the cabinets, but other than that,
no, it was
Steve
built
Nally.
another.
Steve Nally that lives right here.
Oh, okay.
Or has the tire shop here. I think he's got the cabins out of it. The cabinets.
Okay. Do you still have that though? Do you?
No.
Or you sold that?
Yeah, it's sold. But the cabin I built, we went in there and built a, I don't know, 4,500, 4,000 square foot log style, really nice cabin, and put water and electric, and built a dog kennel and a pole barn and equipment barn and whatnot. And I had buddies come from Georgia deer hunting all the time. The guy that owns it now, that's what it's called, Whitetail Crossings, I believe it is he's doing deer hunts out there.
Yeah.
So that was the cabin that we built, but no, myself and Todd Hamilton built it. It took a year. We just didn't have anything else to do, I guess. At the end of the year, I'm like, I got to get a job. So I started investing in real estate here and building a few houses in the subdivision and selling them.
Now, where's the subdivision?
Right at Walnut. Go up Walnut, and it's Oak on the right. Go up
yes. Yeah.
Go up Walnut Street,
okay,
cross over Grundy.
Yes.
It'd be the
that's a
nice
nice subdivision.
Yeah.
Yes.
I think when they put that subdivision in, some of the city opposition was they thought it was going to be a slum subdivision, little tiny houses, and not going to be really taken care of. And when I got it, I think there was 2 or 3 houses in it at that point, and we started building from there. And I think we built some really nice stuff in there, and the people really take care of the yard. You know, it's contagious. The first one keeps his yard up, and the next one. When we build houses in there, we do the landscaping, and we put down sod. So they start out with a really nice yard, and that motivates people to keep their yard really nice. And it's worked. They've done a great job. Really proud of this little subdivision. And as soon as we get through with the stuff on the bypass, the duplexes we're building and whatnot, then we'll get back to the subdivision and start building it again. But right now,
what's that on the bypass?
We built Toyota Tomy. We own it and lease it to Toyota Tomy for some of their executives. Some duplexes.
Oh, okay.
Macville Road and the bypass. They're green and white ones.
Yeah.
And it's going to be a gated community, so it'll be Springfield's first little gated community. I got the gates at the office now. We built the post for them. We're getting ready to put the stone on the post and put the electric gates in. So,
how many will you have there?
There'll be 6 units there. It'll be 3 duplexes, 6 units.
Now, will that be all for Toyotomi?
Well, it started out that was the plan, but now there's Toyota Tomy and St. Catherine's students in there right now. So that's it's full. They're waiting on me to finish them. And, so.
Wow.
But
well, that's good because we always need development here. I know people are always, talking about not enough places to live, but I like the idea too, John, of you're taking older homes and renovating those because, we do have some nice homes in Springfield that, of course, just need a little remodeling and things. And I guess one of my favorite projects is the Pink House on Lincoln Park
Yeah.
Road.
The pink house, Lisa, Steve Hale had been calling me trying to get me to buy that thing over and over and over. And my question was, if we tear it down, how many duplexes can I build on it? Oh, you'll have everybody tore up. You know, that's a historical monument and blah, blah, blah. So, well, you call me when we can build duplexes on it, because I don't want anything to do with the pink house. So a month later he calls me and says, man, you thought about the pink house anymore? I'm like, Steve, I'm telling you, the pink house, I just don't know what to do with the pink house. He said, I got a guy I want to bring to you. So he brought a guy, Mr. Howard, by. And Mr. Howard had a passion. He had redone a couple in Louisville. It was in the construction business, his whole family, as a matter of fact. And he had a passion for redoing them old houses. So he's like, John, this is what I have envisioned. He told me the paint color and what he was going to do, and you know, he wanted it to live in. He didn't want it to sell. So I said, well, if you feel that strongly about it, I'll buy the pink house and finance it for you and hold the paper, but you've got to start fixing it up. And he did. He immediately got in there and started fixing the inside up. The inside looks awesome. And then the bad weather passed, and he's now starting to do the outside.
Yeah.
So he's actually going to turn the pink house gray. So it's going to be a dark colonial gray with a bunch of white trim on it. And then it won't be the pink house anymore. I guess it'll probably always be the pink house for him.
Well, it wasn't the pink house until Ronnie Carpenter
bought it.
had it.
Mm-hmm.
And, you know, I myself, I loved it. I'm sure not everybody's a fan of a pink house.
Right.
But I enjoyed all the colors.
Mm-hmm.
But now I know that, you know, I'm sure the gray, the colonial style gray will go nicely.
Yeah, it'll look good. It wasn't that I didn't like the house. I just didn't see economically, you know, where I could come out on the house. And,
Yeah.
And profit's not an ugly word. You got to make a profit.
Yeah, you have to
eventually,
make a profit. Yeah.
So, but when he come along, I mean, he had a vision, and I said, well, if you're that strong with it, well, I'll give you a chance. And he's done what he said he has. Thank God, because if he hadn't, I'd had a lot of mad people, because the pink house is going away and duplexes are going to be built. And,
Yeah.
And I'm on the Renaissance board, and I think Nell and them got me on it just because they didn't want me changing they didn't want me changing. I started buying buildings downtown, and I think they wanted to control me. So the best way to control me was get me to join them. And now that I'm surrounded by Fran and
Nell
Sandra Davis and
Sandra.
Nell and Lori Smith and Margaret Goatley and you know, the only guy on there, John Parker, he never shows up. And then Daniel Carney, he's there, but he's just kind of like, you on your own. So I think they just said, well, we'll get John on here. We can take care of it that way. You know,
Well,
that way.
you did a wonderful job on the
Apartments.
the apartments downtown, the salon, the tanning. My
Tanning salon in the summer.
endless summer tanning, which I enjoy going to for the spray tans.
Yeah. That's my
I like
wife.
those spray tans.
My wife runs that, and she's real precious. She's done an awesome job with it.
She
And,
really has. She
really
has.
classy, really upscale.
Yeah.
Everybody comes down that's not from here. It's like, man, I can't believe I got a tanning salon like that here.
Yeah.
You know, but
A nice spray tan.
we just didn't want. When we put it in, we were too busy to have the aggravation of stuff breaking down and stuff that wasn't nice or complaints. So we just said, okay, we're gonna go with the best of the best and put it in, and hopefully it pays out. And,
Yeah.
you know.
And you've given jobs to young people.
Yeah.
I love going in, you know, because you've got these young people working, and of course these young people need a job. So
You know, if they don't, I mean, my daughter worked there. Savannah worked there, and she's gonna have to go to work at Hardee's or McDonald's, and there's nothing wrong with that.
no,
But you're just limited. How many people can Hardee's hire, or how many people can McDonald's hire, or
Right.
Greg? You know, he does a great job of hiring young people, but there's just so few jobs for 3 to 5, I guess you would say, or
Right.
3 to 6 after school. So,
right.
and that was the big motivation in the beginning. We say, hey, Savannah will have a job, and then Seth's coming along, he'll have a job there. So, you know,
Well,
we just
that's
need to keep
good.
people tanning so we can keep the
Yeah.
doors open.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then, so how, you've put several apartments downtown, and
Yeah, we have Jane Livers. She come to me and said, "Won't you build me a?" When we were working on a tanning salon, I was down in a hole one day, and I'd never met her. And she come over there and said, "You John Strickland?" I said, "Yeah." She goes, "Won't you build this for my hair
beauty
place, and I'll never move the day I die?" And I'm like, "What are you talking about?" She goes, "I'm right over here, and I'll never leave." And so I said, "Well, this one's already spoken for." I said, "But get with me and let's talk." So I figure some crazy old lady, if you know Jane, you know, I love her to death. She's like my second mom now. But anyway, so about a week later, she come back by and said, "Hey, when you gonna buy this building next door and put me in it and redo it for me?" And, and I'm like, "Well, let me get with Tommy and see what he'll take for it." And I said, "Jane, how much can you pay?" So how much I can pay for the building. And she told me, and she goes, "But you can't go up on me." And I said, "No." I said, "If that's it, if we agree to it, I won't until you die. It'll be the same price. I'm not gonna go up on you." And it's small business also.
yeah.
So she moved in, and we did her a building, and we started from scratch. She got to pick her colors and tile and paint, and
Oh, it looks
her
fabulous.
booths, and she grandma'd it. I can tell you that. So she put the grandma factor in there, and so we redid it for her, and she's got a set amount, and as long as I own it, it'll never go up.
Well, and she decorates her window
Yeah,
beautifully.
she does.
And
She was on my case. You got to put a plug in the front. I'm like, I don't want to put a plug in the front. You got to put a plug. I got to decorate my windows, so I don't have to put a plug. So then we put 2 apartments above them for St. Catherine students. Then over to Tannin Salon, we have 2. And then the Snappy's building, I bought it from St. Catherine's. When Lynn and Susan donated to St. Catherine's, I bought it, and we got three apartments above it.
Okay.
So there's 7 or 8, no, 2,
Wow.
7 or 8 through there, yeah.
Wow. Well, it sounds like you stay awfully busy with all of this.
Excuse me.
Does Todd do all your
Todd does a lot of it, yes.
Uh-huh.
Todd does a lot. Eddie Knoll does a lot.
Uh-huh.
I buy every bit of our material from Parkview Home Center. I'm trying to keep it local. And when I say every bit, I'm talking about every shingle, every window, every board, every nail.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
If it's a tube of glue, we buy it from Parkview Home Center.
Mm-hmm.
And I get people call me. I bet I get 3 to 5 calls a month of people saying, "Hey, I'll make you a better deal over here in Bardstown, or I'll do this for you, do that." And I'm like, "Look, if you were cheaper by 10%, I still wouldn't do business with you. I can pick up the phone and say, 'Hey, Joey, it's a Sunday, and I need a drill bit.' And he's like, 'I'm in my recliner, but I'll be down at the open store and get you a drill bit.' And that goes a long way.
Mm-hmm.
And keeping the money here in town.
Right, right.
The subs we use primarily are all here, and we really don't use a bunch of different people. We use the same subs we had for 8 or 9 years now.
Mm-hmm.
And they do a good job, and they know what we want. Wesley Smith does a ton of work for us. Wesley was Entrepreneur the year before they give me the award, so I guess maybe this year. He was last year, and he gave a speech, and he about had me in tears. You was there. I'm like, man, that was pretty heartfelt, and some of the stuff that he said that really hit home. You go through life and you do things, and you sometimes don't take the time to look at what you've done, or more or less stop and smell the roses. And it's like he had said in one part of his speech. He said, "This guy I'm going to introduce is there's probably not a street in this town or neighborhood that he's not built a custom home in." And I got to thinking about it. I said, I have built a lot of custom homes here, and I guess in the county, I've got about every corner. I've got one stuck in it somewhere. So,
Well, I know you've got that one on going up on not Covington. Grundy.
And Walnut.
And
on the
Walnut,
left.
yeah.
Yeah, that was I guess there was an old house there before me that Joe Davis had bought because his daughter lived across the street. And Kevin Buckler and them tore it down and hauled it off, and they had a big hole, and everybody's like, what are you ever going to do with that hole? And I'm like, man, I see value there. It's a beautiful lot on a Walnut Street, and it's beautiful, and you know, you got your older homes. The trick was putting a home that fit in, because my mind is more of a modern. I use a lot of stone and, you know, the modern day looking houses. A lot of peaks in the roof and gables and whatnot. And the biggest thing was get in my mind how to do a house that would fit in. And I wanted it to look like it was a new home that had been there. So I said, well, if I use white, black trim, and you know, it worked. You know,
So you design those yourself, and
I normally go. I'll get a set of plans, and by the time I'm done, I've done drawn all over them and redone and took other plans and put roofs on. So now I quit buying plans. I just said, hey, we're gonna make this thing, you know, 30 foot deep and 20 foot long, or whatever the dimensions might be, and let's put an offset over here, and we're gonna put a window here, and when we get through with it. We've had some tear outs and redos, I promise you.
Oh,
so,
wow.
But
Well, and that's all paid off. Well, and then you've got your other business, the pharmaceutical business, and that is wholesale. And then, of course, that office is down by
the gym at Bell Vista,
yeah.
behind the car wash on
Yeah.
Spurstown Road. Sure.
Yeah.
And like I said, we employ about 12 people there.
And what do you do? You sell these pharmaceuticals to hospitals and doctors' offices, or
we sell what the big wholesalers don't want to sell to rural hospitals and doctors' offices. If one of your big wholesalers that are doing billions and billions of dollars a year, a lot of times don't want to mess with a 40-bed hospital in Lebanon, Kentucky. So we pride on ourselves to sell them product that other people don't. Other people don't want to be bothered with smaller hospitals.
Medications?
Yeah, Legend drugs. We don't do any controls. It could be something as small as sodium and something as big as, you know, a blood clotting agent. Just according to what they need at the time.
And then you get those from
other wholesalers.
Sellers, and then you just and then you have people that will deliver those to the
UPS and FedEx, believe it or not.
Okay, I didn't know if you had to have
no, you just
you know,
box
like
it up
carriers or
right,
anything.
Couriers. We use
Or
them sometimes.
couriers.
Yeah, we have used them sometimes, and we use FedEx and UPS a lot of times. Just according to what they need, and we build a relationship with a hospital or a doctor's office, and they know that we're going to have it there no matter what. And we are service oriented. You know, everything's about the service versus just being a number in somebody's computer. We want to be able to say, hey, that's Jimmy, and, you know, our accounts, hell, we know their hobbies, and, you know, half of them are friends now, and the salespeople make friends with them, and they talk about their Harleys and their kids, and, you know, so we're service oriented and use a real personable touch with them. So.
And you have about 12 people working in
12
there?
people there, yes.
I don't know who here in Washington County is.
Yeah. Kelly Knoll, Eddie Knoll's daughter Kelly is Kelly Bowen now. She works for us. Jim Milburn, Holly Smith, she lives right here on Main Street. Joseph Sims, Mark Sims' son.
Oh,
Jonathan Barlow used to have Circoni's restaurant. He works for me.
I didn't realize Jonathan was there.
Yep, Jonathan's there too. So we've got a pretty good crew with right
Well,
now.
yeah. Well, good. Well, I just want to thank you, and I want to thank Tammy too, and because you all both work hard here to make Springfield and Washington County a better place, and as you said, you give it the personal touch, John, and that's really nice, and because it of course contributes to our way of living here, and like you said, people down on their luck, you've helped them out, and that means a lot here.
You know, I've enjoyed living here, and I guess it's home now. So we're going to vacation in the South and eat seafood, but I guess we're just going to live here.
You going to stay here for
We've
good
made
now?
roots, so I guess we're not going anywhere.
Oh, that's really good.
But the people have been really, really really nice, and I've met some wonderful people here and some friends that I never knew even exist in the world that are true friends.
Yeah.
And most of the time, they say you can count your true friends on one hand, and I feel like I count my friends on one hand just from Washington County. So, you know, from being in another part of the United States so long, I feel like I got at least 2 handful of friends anyway. So
I'd say you probably have more than that. So, and some good ones. And you've certainly been a good friend to a lot of people. So, I just want to thank you for being here today.
Well, thank you
and
for having us.
Congratulations on your award. It's quite deserving.
Thank you.